I'm being forcibly removed from the building again of a public lobby.
So if you want to take out that gun and badge, I'm happy to scrap with you one day.
Sir, please, is there anything I can do, sir, please? Don't do this to my wife, man. You don't know what you're doing to my family, man. Please, I'm begging you. I'm literally where am I going to put my feet? Sir, I'm begging you, please. Please. Please.
You want to do it, let's do it. Let me know, buddy.
That is not a crime, and you're telling me to get out of my vehicle.
Do you know where Lieutenant Mingus is right now? So, no, he's not in the building?
I don't know. I'm not.
What do you know?
Okay, I don't want that man taking my picture. Why don't you take him out of here?
Sir, you hit me.
I'm gonna do
You
that
hit
next,
me.
okay?
Sir, okay, now
you take my picture then. I don't know you.
I'm not telling you nothing else until I find out who's driving that vehicle. You not a supervisor, bro. I need somebody higher than you right now.
I didn't break the law. I'm not going to be found guilty of anything. This is a waste of time. If you guys want to know who I am, I'll tell you who I am. Okay. You want to know what I'm doing here? I'll tell you what I'm doing here.
If you didn't know, I went to the police academy and they kicked me out.
That's my purse! I don't know you!
Spit me on my face right now. She spit in my face.
Please, sir, please don't make me sleep in jail tonight, sir, please. I'm begging.
We're not criminals.
They're going to make me sleep in jail.
Why?
Sir, please. Please.
Dude, please.
Sir, please.
Oh my
Come on,
God,
man.
don't do that to him.
You
He
guys
didn't
don't know
even
what
bring-
you're doing to me, man.
Why? Where are you
Ma'am,
taking
stand right
me?
here. Ma'am,
Oh man,
ma'am,
I'm just
ma'am,
walking.
ma'am. No, you can't go.
You guys really don't know what you're doing to my life with this, man. Seriously, please.
We really haven't been getting a lot of support from the community. You know, we need help getting hotels. We pretty much got the food and gas covered, but if there's any way anyone can help out in any way, guys, the hotels, the fees have really been killing us. You know, we don't make $1 million. We don't make a whole lot of money. But if there's any way anyone can help out, please. We couldn't do it without you guys.
Today's video takes us to Jacksonville, Florida, with a stop at the City Hall. Now, this video was uploaded in 2 parts, and in the first part, a band of misfit frauditors attempts to roam the hallways of City Hall and is confronted by an attorney who tells them they can't come down this hallway because it's private. Of course, the frauditors say they see no signs indicating it's private, and the attorney physically stops one of the frauditors, Dr. Sean Berry, we've seen him a time or two, from going down the hallway. Now, what follows is a deposition of sorts by one of the sheriffs. He's interviewing the attorney, so let's pick it up from there. Let's all sit back, watch, have a good laugh, and most of all, enjoy.
All right. Okay, have a seat. All right. Okay, Mr. Phillips, I guess you know the reason why I'm here was the incident. Right. That's claimed that Mr. Berry claims that you battered him back on during the City Hall incident back on 11/23. Right. And before I ask any questions, of course, you know, I got to read you your constitutional rights.
Well, you actually don't if I'm not in custody.
Okay.
And
Well,
I'm happy to talk to you voluntarily.
Okay.
You do not need to read me my rights.
Okay. Fair enough.
Now, that man in the tie is a lawyer, and he knows what he's talking about. Now, he's the one that allegedly improperly touched Dr. Sean Berry. Oh, dearie me. Let's carry on.
Okay, he's claiming that during the incident that you shoved him and causing an injury to him during the incident.
Okay. Well, I don't know where to start there because there's 2 parts to that.
Okay.
I think any claim of injury that he says he suffered is likely a lie.
Okay.
I did not do anything to him that would cause a human to be injured.
Okay.
Okay. Secondly, the incident began when these people intruded into our offices. I don't know if you've seen the video of the incident or not.
This is what happens when you go places that you're not invited. Now, these are definitely private offices. You can tell this is not open to the public unless you're asked to come back here. And did you see what the attorney did? He pushed his camera stick. He pushed his precious little camera stick. Oh, dearie me.
So, what the video will show, among other things, is that they are the ones who committed crimes.
Okay.
The video will show, and this is their own video, not our video, will show that two of them were downstairs in an office, I'm not sure which one, stealing popsicles out of a refrigerator of one of our employees.
Okay.
Secondly, they had come into our office and made a bunch of noise. There was a deposition going on, which was disrupted. So I stood by the door to tell them that they couldn't come in, that it's not a public area.
Now, Lana, you went and stole popsicles out of an employee refrigerator. Oh, Lana, you're trying to get another booking photo because she doesn't like this booking photo, do you, Lana? Well, I'm not going to dox you because, yeah, the booking photo I have has your full name on it. Although it's public record, see, Lana's big on public records until they're her public records. Isn't that right, Lana?
But there was an exchange outside the door that they were going to be trespassing if they came in our office and disrupted it again. And I then went back inside, I shut the door, and I came back, and they had opened the door and were about to come in, and I met them at the door.
And this is the second occurrence?
Second occurrence.
Okay, second occurrence. Okay, so there actually was a first occurrence, you're saying?
Yeah, I was in front of our door telling them, this isn't public, you need to leave. And then later, shortly thereafter, after I shut the door, they opened the door. And I met them at the door and told them they couldn't come in, that this is not public.
Okay. Frauditors don't care about all that. They paid for that building with their tax dollars. They own that building. They're going to go wherever they want. Isn't that right, Lana? Your plastic surgeon didn't do such a good job there. You better go get your money back.
So the second time they opened the door?
Yes, they opened the door and started to come in. I met them at the door and I went, no, you can't come in here, right? And the Sean Berry, or whatever his name is, I mean, I don't know if that's his real name, but the guy, I'll call him Sean Berry. That's what his name tag said.
Okay.
In the red shirt, the guy who complained that I battered him. And so then I retreated down the hall to a more defensible position.
Yeah, I can understand that, sir, because there was a swarm of frauditors trying to surround you. I get that. Yeah, I understand that.
Because at that point I had people, him behind me and other people in front of me, and they were acting aggressively.
Okay.
And they were all armed with selfie sticks.
Wait 1 second. So you're saying that you retreated down the hall due to their aggressive behavior?
Well, due to the fact that I didn't feel like I could take on 3 people at once, and so I retreated down the hall where it was narrower. And then I continually told them, you can't come in here, you're trespassing, you need to leave. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but that was the message I was conveying. And Sean Berry just walked right up and tried to walk past me again.
Well, that's what frauditors do. They have to get a reaction from you. If they get no reaction, it's not going to be good for clicks and views. Yeah, you understand how it works now, don't you, sir? I do apologize all that happened, but they do need to make money somehow. They don't have a job.
And so I said, and stepped in front and said, you can't come in here. And I, met him with my hand on the right side of his chest.
Okay, so he attempted to walk past you?
Yes. holding his selfie stick in front of him, like, you know, well, I don't know what he was going to do with it. I'll tell you about what I was thinking in a minute. And then he continued to aggressively yell. And my perception was he was trying to get past me again. So and he was also getting in my face with his camera. So I pushed his camera or his arm again to get him off me.
This is another group of frauditors who likes to make a mountain out of a molehill. What do they want to do? Sue the city for what? About $10 million a piece? You think they'd stop frauditing then? I can just about guarantee you they'd never fraud it again. If they won $10 million, of course they'd spend it all in the first year and then they'd have to go back to frauditing.
First of all, I was apprehensive about my own, not necessarily in this order, I was apprehensive about my physical safety to some degree. Because I didn't know what they were going to do, and there were a lot of them, and they all had selfie sticks. Secondly, I had seen the expression on our receptionist's face, and I could tell she was scared. And I knew that there were a bunch of women behind me that were also apprehensive about what was going on, and perhaps even frightened. Secondly, as a lawyer, I have an ethical duty to protect the records of our clients, which are confidential work product things, and there are trade secret papers in our offices. And I knew about these people. I've seen a few of their videos, and what they do is they go into offices and rummage around.
You got that right, sir, because this frauditor right here always says, oh, the onus is on you to protect private information. I can record whatever I can see. Right.
And you can't have that in a law office. I have an ethical duty to prevent that from happening. Thirdly, I had told them repeatedly, this place right here is not open to the public, me yelling back. And telling him repeatedly, he said, where's the sign? I don't need a sign. I'm telling you, you're trespassing, you need to leave. And so then I'm on the phone trying to tell 911 that we need an officer here to get these people out of our office. And while he's just standing there and I'm not touching him at all, he says basically false things to the dispatcher. Like, help, 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 he's pushing me.
That is exactly what Dr. Sean Berry said, because if you go back and watch the original video, you'll hear him say that. Help, help. Yeah, it was hilarious. Let's continue with this.
Which was not happening. And my comment to that was, what do you need help for? You're pushing me around. I said, you know, you're just standing there with a camera like an idiot. I'm not pushing you, right? So at this point, you know, I'm well within my rights, because when you can use reasonable, non-deadly force to stop or expel a trespasser, and that's what he was. And that's all I was doing. I was keeping him from rummaging around in our lawyers' offices. And then a security guard showed up, and I asked the security guard, these people need to be escorted out, and that's when they got out of the hall.
It's all frauditors do. They travel around places, they look and see what they can cause trouble with, they file complaints, and hopefully they can file a lawsuit and win a few dollars. That's all they do.
You know, once again, the idea that I injured him is
okay. Well, you know, that's what he's alleging. So therefore, we have to follow up with you also.
You have to follow up and investigate and all that. No problem with that whatsoever. But the person who committed the crimes was him. He was a trespasser. I told him repeatedly not to leave, and he didn't. And then
Not to leave?
I'm sorry. I told him repeatedly to leave. You need to leave right now. and he didn't and wouldn't.
Okay.
And ultimately, several minutes thereafter, about 6-ish police officers showed up. I told them what happened and asked them to get them out of here.
Oh yes, and that was lovely. Lana and her misfit crew were kicked out. Oh, and she said they'd be back to file complaints, but they never did come back. Yeah, well, this is not over yet, but let's listen to the final part of this attorney.
Then they waited for their sergeant. I told the sergeant the same thing. The sergeant then went out and dealt with them, and all that's on the video, by the way. And although they all could have been arrested for trespassing and resisting without violence, they weren't. The sergeant bent over backwards to be nice to them. And I can understand why, although.
Right. Okay.
And so he's trespassing. His cohorts are stealing. I'd like them to be prosecuted, or at least I'd like to call this to the attention of the state attorney's office so they can decide what to do.
Okay.
You see all the comments from Lana on the screen. She has no respect for law enforcement. She certainly doesn't care about anything except her own narcissistic, sociopathic tendencies that she has about filming in public.
Well, I'll definitely, submit everything that you're telling me into the supplemental report, and the original report and a supplemental report should be available within the next few days if you would choose to get that. Do you have the case numbers that we're working on?
I don't have a state attorney walk-in card or anything. I said I'd give you a card and I forgot.
Thank you.
Eventually.
All right, well, I have no further questions for you.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry to take up your time with this.
Well, there you have it, good people. Stupid is as stupid does. They tried to make something out of nothing, and it didn't work out so well for them. Now, did it? Well, that's what happens when you act like a jackwagon. What can I tell you? Well, I tell you something else, though. If you enjoy watching stupid people do stupid things on my channel, please subscribe. As always, thanks so much for stopping by, Lana and the Misfits. You think you'll ever get a real job? Probably not. Cheers to that.
Oh, you assaulted me.
I did. So many.
You assaulted me. She assaulted me. Racist. Oh, that's a hate crime. You're being disorderly. Call the police. Call the police. Call the police.
I'm not sitting down. I refuse to sit down. I refuse. Big tough guy. Big tough guy. Big tough guy. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Nothing. You can come try to make me. You're welcome to try to make me. Take a swing. Take a swing.
What is the reason for calling the officers here?
You'll go to jail, bro. Go ahead, put your hands on me.
Bro.
Put your hands on me.
No reason I'm really unhappy that somebody did this to me.
We'll arrest you for trespassing in a minute.
On public property?
Yeah, we're asking you to leave and you're not leaving. That's trespassing.
She's right in my face, guys. You just assaulted me, ma'am. You can't come up and touch me like that.
You don't have permission to film me in any space.
I don't need permission to
Yes, you
record
do.
you in public, ma'am.
Actually,
No, that's
you
the
do.
law.
Salami hala handula. Alu akbar. Haknuikan da kra. Ula wala papatay.